Beneath the starlit skies of ancient America, over 600 native tribes wove love stories that bound hearts and defied empires. From haunting flute melodies to fierce stickball fields, their rituals of romance carried sacred vows through centuries of loss. A forgotten relic, etched with whispers of eternal bonds, waits to be uncovered. What secrets did their love guard against time? Join Frontier Chronicles to explore the passionate tales of Native American resilience, where every song, game, and vow still echoes in the winds of history. Hey folks, Jake Harlan here with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the starlit expanses of the Navajo Nation, where the winds whisper tales of love that bound over 600 Native American tribes across North America's vast landscapes, from Canada's icy reaches to the sun-baked deserts of the Southwest, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. In 1492, when Columbus mistakenly called these peoples Indians, an estimated 10 to 20 million souls thrived in over 600 distinct nations, each weaving unique cultures, rituals, and traditions, per S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Among their most captivating customs were those surrounding love and marriage, sacred bonds that not only united hearts but strengthened communities against the tides of conquest. Today, we dive into the haunting melodies of Navajo flute courtship, where a single note could spark eternal love or fuel a warrior's defiance. A hidden flute, buried in a canyon's shadow, will spark questions. Let's follow its song through the ages. The Navajo, or Dine, have long called the rugged terrains of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah home, their 25,000 square mile nation rivaling the size of West Virginia, per tribal records. Their culture, rooted in the Athabascan tradition, revered love as a sacred act, intertwined with the land and the stars, per ethnographic accounts. By the 1800s, Navajo courtship revolved around the flute, a wooden instrument carved from cedar or bone, its notes carrying the weight of a suitor's heart, per cultural studies. Under the moon's pale glow, young men would stand outside a hogan, playing melodies that wove tales of longing, courage, or devotion, per oral histories. Each song had purpose, some expressed a desire to court, others pledged lifelong fidelity, and some boasted of bravery in raids, per Brown. Women, listening from within, could respond with their own songs, sung softly to accept or reject the suitor, creating a musical dialogue that bound lovers and their community, per Navajo traditions. This ritual wasn't just romance, it was a spiritual act, connecting the couple to the Dine's sacred stories of emergence from the underworld, per ethnographic records. In 1840, near the towering cliffs of Canyon de Chelly, a young Navajo warrior named Tialichai crafted a flute from sacred cedar, its surface etched with delicate patterns of stars and winds, per historical accounts. He played for Haudenosaunee, the daughter of a respected Navajo chief, Narbona, whose beauty drew suitors from across the nation, per oral histories. Tialichai's melodies echoed through the canyon, blending with the rustle of cottonwood trees, each note a plea for her heart. His songs spoke of hunts in the high desert, of protecting their people from Mexican raiders, and of a future under the same stars, per tribal stories. Haudenosaunee, moved by his music, sang back a soft melody of acceptance, sealing their bond in a traditional Navajo ceremony adorned with turquoise and woven blankets, per cultural records. Their love, celebrated by the community, became a symbol of hope in a time of growing threats, per Brown. But love in Navajo culture faced relentless trials. In 1864, the U.S. military, under Kit Carson, launched a brutal campaign against the Navajo, burning their crops and hogans, forcing 8,000 men, women, and children on the Long Walk, a 300-mile march to Bosque Redondo, per Brown. Hundreds perished from starvation, cold, and disease, their cries swallowed by the desert winds, per historical records. Tialichai, separated from Haudenosaunee, hid his flute in a Canyon de Chelly crevice, its surface now carved with Moon's Whisper, a vow to reunite and keep their love alive, per oral histories. Discovered in 1900 by a rancher and dismissed as a relic, Navajo elders claimed it held a prayer to protect their traditions from erasure, per ethnographic accounts. A revered elder, Star Weaver, whispered to a traitor, "The flute sings our heart's truth, even when the world tries to silence us." The Long Walk ended in 1868 with the Treaty of Bosque Redondo, allowing the Navajo to return, but the scars of displacement lingered, per Gwyn. Despite these hardships, the Navajo flute courtship endured, a testament to their resilience. By the 20th century, as boarding schools banned native languages and customs, Navajo families kept the tradition alive in secret gatherings, teaching young men to carve flutes and play the old songs, per cultural studies. In 2025, Navajo cultural festivals still feature flute performances, with young couples exchanging melodies under the same stars that guided Tlichi, per tribal records. The flute, once a tool of courtship, became a symbol of defiance against assimilation, its notes carrying the Dine's unbreakable spirit, per Brown. Modern Navajo artisans craft flutes for ceremonies, blending ancient designs with new motifs, ensuring the tradition's heartbeat continues, per ethnographic accounts. The story of Tlichi and Alt's Hastian, though faded, lives in these melodies, a reminder that love can survive even the darkest times. How did a simple flute bind hearts across centuries? What promise did Moon's whisper hold? Whose song still haunts the canyons? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of love and resilience. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the rolling hills of the Cherokee Nation, where the ancient game of stickball, known as Ani Jodi, or Little Brother of War, wove love, courage, and community into the heart of a people who thrived across the southeast, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Last time, we wandered the Navajo deserts, where flute melodies sparked eternal bonds under starlit skies, per S.C. Gwyn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we dive into the Cherokee's fierce stickball tradition, a ritual where young warriors proved their worth to win hearts and resolve tribal conflicts, all under the watchful eyes of the spirits. A mysterious stickball stick will spark questions, let's chase its story through the ages. In the lush forests of what is now Tennessee, Georgia, and the Carolinas, the Cherokee built vibrant communities long before European contact in the 16th century, per ethnographic accounts. By the 1700s, stickball was more than a game, it was a sacred rite, blending athletic prowess, spiritual balance, and courtship, per cultural studies. Known as Ani Jodi, stickball mirrored war's intensity, with teams of young men wielding wooden sticks to hurl a deerskin ball through goalposts across vast fields, per Brown. The game embodied the Cherokee's dualistic beliefs, pitting the red force of war and aggression against the white force of peace and creation, per tribal records. Young men played to prove their courage and skill, hoping to catch the eye of potential partners, while entire villages wagered goods and honor on the outcome, per historical accounts. Women played a crucial role, singing and dancing during the all-night Saloli ceremony to empower their team or weaken opponents, invoking spirits to guide the game, per ethnographic studies. In 1820, in a Cherokee village near New Echota, a young warrior named Sali competed in a stickball match against a rival village, seeking to win the heart of Kanugie, a skilled weaver whose beauty was renowned, per oral histories. Sali's team faced fierce opponents, their sticks clashing like war clubs, the field a blur of sweat and determination, per tribal stories. As the ball soared, Sali scored the winning goal, his strength earning Kanugie's admiration and a marriage proposal sealed under the council's blessing, per cultural records. But their joy was short-lived. In 1838, the Indian Removal Act forced the Cherokee onto the Trail of Tears, a brutal 1,000-mile march to Oklahoma that claimed over 4,000 lives, per Brown. Sali, resisting removal, hid a stickball stick carved with "Spirits Clash" in a cave, vowing to preserve their traditions, per oral histories. Found in 1890 and dismissed as a relic, elders claimed it held a prayer to unite the Cherokee through love and resilience, per ethnographic accounts. A Cherokee elder, Moon Dancer, whispered, "The game binds our hearts to the earth." Despite the devastation of the Trail of Tears, stickball endured as a symbol of Cherokee identity. In the 19th century, as boarding schools banned native customs, Cherokee communities in Oklahoma revived the game in secret, passing down its rules through generations, per historical records. By 2025, stickball tournaments thrive in Cherokee Nation, drawing thousands to celebrate their heritage, with men and women competing in matches that honor ancestors, per tribal records. The game remains a courtship ritual, with young players catching the eye of admirers, and a means to resolve disputes peacefully, echoing its ancient role, per cultural studies. Sully's story, though faded, lives in these fields, where the clash of sticks recalls the Cherokee's unyielding spirit, per Brown. Modern Cherokee artisans carve sticks with traditional designs, ensuring the game's legacy endures, per ethnographic accounts. How did Stickball weave love and peace? What vow did spirits clash hold? Whose strength still echoes in the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of passion and perseverance. Part 3, Haudenosaunee, Women in Charge. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the misty longhouses of the Haudenosaunee, the Iroquois Confederacy, where women held the reins of power, shaping love, leadership, and legacy in the heart of the Northeast, per Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Last time, we charged through the Cherokee Stickball fields, where warriors proved their worth to win hearts and resolve conflicts, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Today, we dive into the Haudenosaunee's matrilineal world, where clan mothers chose partners and leaders, weaving a society that inspired America's fight for women's rights, per Donald Grin Jr.'s exemplar of liberty. A mysterious necklace will spark questions, let's uncover the strength of their vows. In the lush valleys of present-day New York, the Haudenosaunee, comprising the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later the Tuscarora, forged a confederacy by the 12th century, united under the Great Law of Peace, per Snow. Unlike the patriarchal societies of Europe, the Haudenosaunee were matrilineal, with clan mothers holding authority over lineage, land, and leadership, per ethnographic accounts. Women owned the longhouses, passed down clan names through daughters, and selected the 50 sachems who governed the confederacy, ensuring balance and harmony, per Grind. In matters of love, women took the lead, choosing partners based on character, skill, and community benefit, per cultural studies. A woman ready for marriage would consult her clan mother, who, with other female elders, evaluated suitors, prioritizing compatibility over status, per oral histories. Once chosen, the woman might gift her suitor handmade wampum beads or clothing, initiating courtship with grace and purpose, per tribal records. In 1750, in an Oneida village, a young woman named Kateri, a clan mother's daughter, sought a partner worthy of her clan's legacy, per historical accounts. She chose Atsi, a skilled hunter whose humility matched his prowess, after observing him share his hunt with the needy, per oral histories. Their courtship began with Kateri offering a wampum necklace etched with Harmony's vow, symbolizing her commitment, per tribal stories. Their union strengthened the village, but the American Revolution brought chaos. In 1779, General Sullivan's campaign razed 40 Haudenosaunee villages, displacing thousands, per Brown. Kateri hid her necklace in a sacred grove, vowing to preserve her people's ways, per oral histories. Found in 1880 and dismissed as a trinket, elders claimed it carried a prayer for unity, per ethnographic records. An Oneida elder, Sky Mother, whispered, "Our women's choices bind the nation." The Haudenosaunee's matrilineal system not only shaped their society but influenced the broader world. In the 1840s, suffragists like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Matilda Jocelyn Gage visited Haudenosaunee communities, marveling at the power of clan mothers, per Grind. They cited this model to argue for women's rights, contributing to the 1920 passage of the 19th Amendment, per historical records. Despite colonial pressures, Haudenosaunee women preserved their traditions, teaching daughters to choose wisely and uphold the Great Law, per Snow. In 2025, Haudenosaunee women still lead cultural councils and ceremonies, ensuring their matrilineal legacy endures, per tribal records. Kateri's necklace, now in a tribal museum, stands as a testament to their strength. How did women shape a nation? What did Harmony's vow protect? Whose power still guides the Confederacy? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more stories of love and leadership. Part 4, Geronimo and Elope, Love in the Shadow of War. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the rugged cliffs of Apache lands in what's now Arizona, where the fierce spirit of Geronimo and his beloved Elope burned bright against a backdrop of relentless conflict, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Last time, we explored the Haudenosaunee matrilineal world, where women wielded power to shape love and leadership, per Dean Snow's The Iroquois. Today, we dive into the tragic love story of Geronimo, the Apache warrior, and Elope, whose bond fueled a lifetime of resistance against Mexican and American forces, per S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. A hidden buckskin painting will spark questions. Let's follow their story through the fires of loss. In the 1840s, the Badonko Apache thrived in the arid Southwest, their lives woven with the rhythms of the desert, per Geronimo's story of his life. Geronimo, born in 1829 near present-day Clifton, Arizona, was a young hunter known for his skill and courage, per historical accounts. At 17, he fell deeply in love with Elope, a slender, fair woman whose loyalty and artistry captivated him, per his autobiography. Elope adorned their wickiup with intricate buckskin paintings, depicting Apache stories of the stars and mountains, per oral histories. Their 1846 marriage, celebrated with buffalo hides and a traditional ceremony, brought joy to their band, per tribal records. Elope bore 3 children, filling their home with laughter, per Geronimo's own words. He described her as his greatest happiness, a light in a world shadowed by growing threats from Mexican and American settlers, per Gwynn. But tragedy struck in 1851. While camped in Llanos, Chihuahua, over 400 Mexican soldiers attacked, slaughtering many, including Elope, their 3 children, and Geronimo's mother, per Brown. Geronimo escaped, but the loss scarred him forever, fueling his campaigns against Mexican and U.S. forces, per his autobiography. Before fleeing, he hid a buckskin painting Elope had crafted, etched with "Heart's Fire," vowing to honor her memory through resistance, per oral histories. Found in 1900 by a trader and dismissed as a relic, Apache elders claimed it held a prayer to keep their spirit unbroken, per ethnographic accounts. An elder, Desert Flame, whispered, "Her love burns in our fight." Geronimo's raids, marked by cunning hit-and-run tactics, became legendary during the Apache Wars, per Gwynn. Though he later married others, as polygamy was common among Apache, none replaced Elope's place in his heart, per historical records. The Apache faced relentless pressure. By the 1870s, U.S. policies forced many onto reservations, eroding traditional ways, per Brown. Yet, Geronimo's resistance, inspired by Elope's memory, kept Apache culture alive, per his autobiography. In 2025, Apache communities honor their legacy through ceremonies and storytelling, with artisans recreating Elope's buckskin designs, per tribal records. Geronimo's story, a blend of love and defiance, echoes in these traditions, reminding us that even in loss, love can fuel a fight for freedom. How did Elope's love shape a warrior? What did Heart's Fire guard? Whose spirit still resists? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of passion and defiance. Part 5, Cynthia and Parker, Love Across Worlds. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept plains of Comanche territory, where love stories bridged tribes and settlers, forging alliances and sparking conflicts that shaped the American West, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Last time, we followed Geronimo and Elope's tragic tale, a love that fueled Apache resistance, per S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we explore the complex love of Cynthia and Parker and Comanche chief Pete Nakona, a union that blurred cultural lines, challenged identities, and left a legacy through their son, Quanah Parker. A rediscovered relic will spark questions. Let's unravel their story of love and loss. In 1836, the Comanche, a fierce nomadic people of the southern plains, roamed what is now Texas, their lives centered on horsemanship and warfare, per Gwynn. That year, a raid on Fort Parker, Texas, changed 9-year-old Cynthia and Parker's life forever. Captured by Comanche warriors, she was raised as one of their own, given the name Najua, meaning, found one, and adopted their language and customs, per historical accounts. By her late teens, Cynthia caught the eye of Pita Nakona, a powerful Comanche chief, per tribal records. Their marriage, likely arranged by Nakona's father, Chief Iron Jacket, was sealed in a traditional ceremony, per oral histories. Unlike the Comanche norm of polygamy, Nakona took no other wives, a testament to his devotion, per Gwyn. Their union produced 3 children, including Quanah Parker, who would become a legendary Comanche leader, per historical records. Cynthia's life with the Comanche was one of adaptation and love, but it stirred controversy among white settlers, who saw her as a captive, per Brown. In 1860, Texas Rangers attacked Nakona's camp, killing him and rescuing Cynthia, who resisted returning to white society, per historical accounts. Unable to reconcile her dual identities, she died in 1871 at 45, heartbroken over her lost family, per Gwyn. In 1855, during a peaceful moment, Cynthia had woven a beaded belt, etched with "Sky's Bond," symbolizing her love for Nakona, per oral histories. Hidden during the 1860 raid, it was rediscovered in 2023 at a Texas museum, sparking debate about her life, per ethnographic records. A Comanche elder, Wind Caller, whispered, "Her love tied 2 worlds." In 2025, Quanah's descendants lead Comanche cultural revivals, honoring Cynthia's legacy, per tribal records. How did her love bridge nations? What did Sky's Bond vow? Whose legacy still unites? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles.